Hi guys, it's Karen. I'm gonna try something similar yet different. As a lot of you are starting to figure out, that's kind of what I do. I'm going to use the similar idea of a minimalist frame that I did with that Dalmatian jasper, but I'm going to use a 14 gauge. This is pure dead soft copper wire so that I can put a patina on it. And I'm going to make the frame and then I'm going to texture it with some hammering. What I'm going for is something that will be maybe more attractive to the male gender. They like more subdued designs, subdued colors, designs, that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to get a really rough idea right here of a frame and give myself an extra inch or so. And then use this jaw plier. Whoops, sorry about that. Nylon jaw plier. Straighten it out a little bit. With this heavier gauge, of course, it's a little tougher working with it. Thankfully, it is still dead soft. But then I'm going to use my metal block to hammer it to get some texture. And I'm going to use this, I purchased this is a texturing hammer, and these come off. So it comes with like, I don't know, 6 or so of these interchangeable discs that you just put on the hammer. We'll see what it looks like. It may not work, but as you guys know, I'm always up for trying something. So I'm gonna do this, well, I'll give it a couple of whacks, but you might see that it's pretty loud. That's not too bad. So you can see the kind of texture it's given us. That's pretty cool looking. And if it's not flattening it quite enough, I'll probably do that after I do this texture. And of course, any kind of manipulation of your wire hardens it, which is called work hardening. And so you have to keep that in mind too. It's going to get a little bit tougher to manipulate. And then we always have the possibility of it even breaking, because it can only take so much. But I'll give it a try. There's the textured side, which I want up. Flatten it a little bit more. Do the ends, of course, because that will probably be where the bail is, and I don't necessarily need that. Texture. Okay, so now I'm going to use this old pill bottle to use as a form. So I try to find something that's about the width and whatnot of the stone to kind of get this started. And the trick is, because I want this textured side, right? So something like that to get it started anyway. And we need to leave a little bit of edge around the stone so that I can get the half round wire in there. So something like that. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I want to kind of try and keep that a little more round. So, kind of like that. And then we will see if I can do this to where I'm not blocking your sight. Find the center and then turn this up. Turn this up. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Okay, now I have the half round bare wire, and you always kind of look, make sure you have the flat side. It has a different kind of flash than the rounded side. And I'm going to start off by wrapping this around a couple of times, say 3 times. Right down in here. Because this is a little bit thicker gauge, well, a lot thicker gauge. Usually the largest gauge I use is an 18, and this is a 14. So I'm trying to keep these 2 wires close together, and then wrap around, keeping the flat side. Sometimes you gotta make sure it's staying flat. Let's push this down a little more. So I'm making the bail now, or what will be the bail. And usually you wrap about an inch worth or so is usually sufficient depending on the look you're going for. So I'll do that off camera. So what I did is I unwrapped the beginning wraps I did just on this wire, undid those 3, and then winding it around the entire double one, and then tucking it up under here into this space. Okay, now I got about an inch. I'm gonna cut it off pretty short there, and I'll show you how I'm gonna finish that off. Because you only wanna wrap around a single wire. That will help keep it more secure than if you were to do around both wires. So I'm spreading those a little bit, and I probably shouldn't have cut that off, but I'll figure it out. So feed it through there. Get it down in there. Pull it tight. Wrap it at least one more time. So you see it's gonna be down in there. Gonna cut that off. Okay. And then we're going to flatten that. Not perfect, but I'll see if I can adjust this a little bit. And I had to give up a long time ago with trying to get things perfect. It's just not possible. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, okay, so I've made sure that this is the flat end, or the flat side of this wire, and I'm going to give it 3 wraps. so that it fits kind of like this over this part. And I gave it a little push over the side there so we have an idea where it's gonna go. Cutting a little bit off there. We're gonna feed this through. Now I'm keeping these wraps on the bottom. Bring this up. Feed it back through. And you know what? I think I'm gonna do 4 wraps. Sorry about my dog. I have my sliding glass door open so she can hear what's going on out there. Maybe not the best when I'm filming. Okay, so it's something like that. So I'm gonna pull that out, do one more wrap like this. And I want it to end on the inside here. Same with that. And we'll lock these down here in a little bit. Shall I go 5 wraps? Let's see what it'll look like. Yeah, I like 5. A little bit more substantial. And then I don't feel like I'm wasting. Okay. We'll clip these off here. And when you're locking these in, you kind of squeeze and twist. And then I'm giving it a little squish, making sure the alignment's okay. So yeah, something like that. So I'm going to do the top one on this side, and then we'll go to the bottom one, or the back side rather. Okay, so this is what we got. And now we're going to move to doing the back. And these wraps will be on the top. Let me lock these in, give them a good little squish. And with the textured wire, you don't have to worry about marring the wire, right? Okay, so now because the cabochon is flat on the back, we don't have that the dome to worry about. So we're going to start with the same way, but we're wrapping this way this time. So let's make sure we've got the flat side on the right area, which is here, and then this is, I have to think a minute because this is going to be up here. So So that was a little tricky to figure out because I want the end of the half round to be up here, like this ended away from the line. So I had to think about that for a minute. Otherwise I might have done it backwards. So I cut a piece off instead of working off the reel. And then, I mean, right now we can remove the stone, but this next one, not so much. Okay. So I need to do that one more time. And this design was featured on Yvonne Williams' YouTube channel called Back to Earth Creations. She's fabulous. I've learned a lot from her. Check her out. Let's see, how many rotations we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I want 5. I'm gonna move that up a little and finagle this in here to give us the 5. And hope we have enough for this side. Yep. And then this comes across here, and this will be nice and flat. And hopefully we'll have enough. Let's slide the stone out of there. And get to wrapping this one. There's 1, 2, and I don't think I gave myself enough. But let's see how crazy I am about being perfect. So I'm gonna turn that down, see if it's super noticeable. And it really, I don't think is. So I'm just gonna go with it because I do not like waste. So let's cut this side off. You always want to cover your finger when you're cutting things, or cover your plier. There's that. Okay. Now there was an imperfection on this stone here. Can you see it? But you really can't see it when it's down. And I mean, stones aren't perfect. Okay. So it's gonna lay in here like this. We can still adjust this one a little bit. And I left enough room on either side here for us to do this wrap. And I'll hopefully be able to get that a little bit better, because that's gonna bug me. Okay, I'm gonna start this off camera because I'm sure I'm gonna need every available sense that I have. Okay, so bear with me, guys. I started this one off camera because I knew I would need more room than I have on here. So now we're gonna go ahead and fit this in for the last time. I won't be able to take it out from here. And I'm gonna pinch this. that down, and now we have to wrap it with the stone in it, which means we have to feed it up through here and try to remember to always have the flat side down. Feed it back through here. It's easier to feed it through an open, bigger open area. And I was sure to cut off enough wire that I would have enough. So it's just going to be that one area that only has 4 wraps, but don't tell nobody. That's just between you and I. Because that's the reality, is most people don't even notice those things, but us as artists are our worst critic, right? We know everything. And this crafting has really helped me learn to deal with my imperfections. So let's see. One more to match this side. And of course, the finishing of any piece for me is always the hardest, because that's the fine details of things, which by now, if you've seen my other videos, you know is where I struggle the most, because of my tremors that I have. So let's see. Hey, that looks pretty cool, I think. Very minimalistic. A guy would dig it, or even chicks that aren't into all those foo-foo swirly swirls and added beads and whatnot. Okay. Let me clean this up and figure out how I'm going to do this bail. Okay, so I bent this bail forward a little bit. I'm going to use the 4th step up, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the bail making pliers. Put it in there. Ooh, boy, that's hard. Bend this over. Again, it's all been very work hardened, and it's 14 gauge. So now my goal is to get these ends through here and then just make a little loop. So I'm going to finagle with that off camera. Okay, whew, that's a little bit tough with 14 gauge. And work hardened, but I'm going to just try and make another little loop over here. So here's the final piece. Now I am going to put a patina on it so that it matches the brown in the stone. I think would be cool. This is an Australian malachite, as opposed to what we're used to seeing as far as malachites. This is Australian. And here's the final piece that's had patina applied to it, which darkens the whole piece, and then you just use either steel wool, or I like the wet dry sandpaper, works best for me. So that's the completed Australian malachite. Now you recall, oops, sorry about that, I had previously made this teardrop shape utilizing the same half round wire and a minimalist cage frame. And that's just to demonstrate all the different shapes of stones you can utilize with this. This is a wooden scale and blend is the name of this stone, and it's a rectangle, and I use the same. This was done with 18 gauge for the main frame, and then the 20 gauge half round. So I think they all look pretty cool, and I think men would like these because they're more subdued, we'll say. So I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, thanks, bye.